Hey everyone, your friendly neighborhood natty here. My name is Matthew, and today's video is going to be a range report on the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380 with Crimson Trace laser. So in preparation for the range, I did not do any exercise for the last 2 days, so I went to shoot the range on Saturday. So that means I didn't do any training on Saturday and I didn't do any training on Friday. I also dry fired this gun a lot. I didn't keep track of it like I did with the Henry Big Boy revolver, but I would say it's probably like 500 to 1,000, and the trigger has gotten better. You know, it didn't get that much better, so I think the trigger was already kind of good, kind of all right. There is a little bit of like a butter slope, kind of like with the Samurai Edge, where, you know, the pull is fine, but then it like loosens up too much. So then, you know, the pressure I'm putting on is too much, and then I have to think, well, do I want to back off or anticipate, which you don't want to, but, you know, it's hard to do with triggers like that. I just prefer it to be even all the way throughout, you know, maybe a stacking trigger. I'm not 100% sure. For the ammunition, you know, since this was going to be one of my rotations, if it performed well, it'd be in one of my carry rotations. It was going to be Federal American Eagle 95 grain 380, and then also Hornady Critical Defense. This is the fighting ammo that I use for my 380 carry rotations. This is 90 grain. Yep, 90 grain. So I thought this box had a little bit more ammo in it. It actually only had 6 bullets, so that's unfortunate. This one only had 13. There's usually 20 in here, so that's all right. I also brought some Fiocchi Target Max. These are 95 grain, so, you know, kind of the same bullet weight, just a different brand. So in total, it would have been about 119 double action trigger pulls. This is a double action trigger gun, so, you know, it's I don't know, I'd say maybe like 8 or 9 pounds. Not that bad, not really an issue at all. Now, a note on the laser too. So with the laser, this is based on a set distance. So if you set this at 5 yards, it's not going to be on at 10 yards, 15, 20 yards, you know, stuff like that, far away and closer. So you have to predetermine what the distance you want is before you set it up. And the windage is a set screw in there. So the windage is done right here on the right side of the gun, kind of right by that red button. Elevation is done down here on the bottom of the gun. So I think it's clockwise for windage right, and then counterclockwise for windage left. And then I think it's clockwise down for elevation, and then counterclockwise for elevation up. And also for the shot group, so after you put the lights on the sights, you know, kind of directly on top, you take a 3-shot group, and then whatever it shows, whatever you need to move it to, it's the opposite. So let's use an example here on the manual. So this one is, let's say that you have your light on the sights. You take a 3-shot group, it's too high, so you want it to come down, right? In that case, for the shot group to move down, you actually want to turn it counterclockwise. Now for the laser, that moves it up. And that would make sense, right? Because if your laser is here and the shot group's up here, then by moving the laser up, you would meet it. You know what I mean? Basically, when I think about it, it makes sense. When I think about it too much, it doesn't make sense. So I'll just, let's just leave that there. So in regards to the range, I have the target here. I picked one where it has like, I think 6 targets, so I kind of like that because it kind of gives me more, you know, more variety to decide what I want to do. So here is a quick glance of the targets here, and I'll give you guys a close-up here to explain. So the first target is actually Federal American Eagle 95 grain. So you can see there the 6 shots are 1 fire on the bottom right. That's just me. But the 3 shots are pretty good. 2 is not too bad, so that's Federal American Eagle. That's pretty good. Now, if we go on to target 2, so this would be upper right, this is actually the Fiocchi Target Max ammo, so 95 grains. and a lot of shots are really good in the green right there. One flyer. Keep in mind this is all at 7 yards, 21 feet, so that's where I set the laser at. So with these results, I say I don't really need to move the laser at all. I mean, maybe just since with the Federal and the Fiocchi seem to be pretty good, maybe I could move it a little left, but honestly, I'd say that's pretty good, pretty on. Now for target 3, much like target 2, this also got 2 mags of Fiocchi target mags. So this would have been 12 shots. And this here, we're seeing a little bit more to the right. I think it's more pulling to the right. So basically what I'm kind of discovering is that after shooting a couple times, I realized that I can just kind of focus on the laser and then focus on the trigger pull. Because usually on irons, you have to focus on the 2 sights, front and back, and then focus on the front, so you get a blurry back sight. And after every shot, you have to readjust, right? You have to refocus. I'm finding with the laser, I can just really just focus on the laser easy, then focus on trigger pull. So I'm just gonna say that I'm starting to get a little bit faster rate of fire, but of course I'm probably pulling more to the right because of that. Now, target 4 here, this is 30 shots or 5 mags, because the Bodyguard magazine is 6 shots. So 5 mags, 30 shots. Again, we got 3 flyers on the right and then 2 on the upper right. But honestly, I'd say that's pretty good. Again, increased rate of fire, so I'm getting kind of hard for me to slow down, but you know, I'm just kind of getting a little bit more, I guess, combative action there. But I'd say those are very good shots. Next we have target 5. This one had 44 shots. Let me see, 36, 42, I think 46 shots is what it would be. So 46 shots here on target 5. Again, more pulling to the right, lower right, but that's just me, you know, really enjoying the faster rate of fire, really. But again, I'd say that's pretty damn good. Yeah, not bad, huh? Now, target 6, this is actually the critical defense, Hornady critical defense ammo. I just wanted to see, you know, since the Fiocchi target max seems to be pretty close to the American Federal Eagle, that means I can just kind of switch out those 2 since I didn't see a Federal American Eagle at the gun store for ammunition. And then with Hornady critical defense, I'd say that's pretty good too. Once again, I'm still doing that increased rate of fire. I mean, I'd say that's pretty good at 7 yards. So I think Hornady critical defense would be a good defense ammo, and then Fiocchi would be good target ammo to practice. So that is the results of the range. What more is there to say? Well, I talked about this a little bit on the unboxing, but you know, the Smith Bodyguard has this slide lock, right? And a lot of times, you know, when the gun runs empty, it would close anyways, you know, so it would close on its own. There were times where I put a magazine, then it would charge the gun immediately. You know, it just seems like the slide doesn't actually lock back, you know, so it kind of makes me question, is like, why is there a slide lock if it's not doing anything? You know what I mean? I've seen some stuff on the internet where they say that that's normal. And if that's the case, then, well, once again, why make a slide lock then? You know, just don't put it on there if you expected it to work that way. I think there was 2, it wasn't failures to fire, it was failures to feed. And the first one was, it required the whole, you know, eject, tap, rack, bang type of thing. But the second one wasn't that bad. I could just lightly tap it into battery. So those were the only 2 failures to feed. They happened on target 5. Not really a big deal out of 119 shots, so nothing to be concerned about. What else is there? Well, I generally love the gun. I think this is fantastic. I talked about how shooting this gun before where I hated it. That happened quite a few years ago. There was a demo days at the gun shop I went to, and they had Smith & Wesson guns. This is one of them, so I tried it, and I don't know if it was a laser or not. It might have been, but I hated it, you know. And it had a thing where a tendency to like bite back. It really like smashed into your finger. And I think it was more like this finger, the left ring finger, so not necessarily the trigger finger or the middle finger. And that still happened. That still happened at the range, but it wasn't that bad, or at least I got over it. It wasn't too much of an issue. But I do think it was just really this type of weapon, when you go from polymer to subcompact, this is certainly subcompact, your level of skill has to go up, you know? So if the gun is heavy, your skill doesn't have to be that high, but when the gun is light and a good, you know, good fighting round, 380 minimum, 9mm, then your skill has to go up. You know, you have to be more skilled, more talented, more training. And I think that was really the only difference, because I was quite a new shooter back then when I first shot this gun, and I decided that I hated it. But now I love it. It's actually, it's really good. It's just not a beginner gun, you know? It's really something for somebody that's practiced a lot, many rounds, many years of practice. In regards to the laser, I mentioned a little bit, all you really get is a faster rate of fire, you know, because when you're focusing on the irons, so you know how you focus rear sight and front sight together, then you focus on front sight. After the gun recoils, you gotta line them up again, you know. Now granted, with training over time and a long period of time, it's probably not a big deal, you know, but I think it's a huge difference when you can just look at a laser, put it on, and then just focus on the trigger pull. It's a lot faster. And in this case, it was hard for me to slow down, you know. I really kind of wanted to get going, you know, to get shooting. So that's really the only difference with the laser, is that you get an increased rate of fire. You know, that might be worth something to practice on. 119 double action trigger pulls, not that bad. Again, I would guess maybe 8 pounds, 9 pounds, I'm not sure, but I was dry firing it a lot, so they may have loosened it up, but I like it. I loved it. I would be very comfortable changing this into my self-defense rotation with the Taurus M380 and the Ruger LCP-1. So it was a great time. I loved it. You know, I mean, I barely made the 30 minutes too. The range is 30 minutes, $24. Wow, that's expensive. But I used my mag loader, which this is the one that I use for the Samurai Edge. So this works for both single stack and double stack magazines. So that's kind of nice. I think it is a little awkward on the single stack, so be wary of that. But honestly, it still worked fine. This is the Uplula. It's for 9mm to 45 ACP, so it still worked for 380, or at least I made it work. So that's it for the video. That's all I have to report. Please let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll put the shooting range footage here for you guys to enjoy, and I'll see you next time, okay? You have a good day now. Goodbye.
Martial arts! Martial arts, go!